I spent years avoiding broccoli, cauliflower, kale, and Brussels sprouts because I was told they could destroy my thyroid. My doctor warned me, blogs repeated it, wellness influencers turned it into gospel. If you have thyroid issues, never eat cruciferous vegetables. So I did what millions of people with thyroid issues do. I listened. I eliminated some of the healthiest foods on the planet out of fear. For years, I walked past broccoli in the grocery store like it was radioactive. I felt like one wrong meal could send my metabolism into a nosedive. But deep down, something never made sense. How could foods packed with antioxidants, fiber, and anti-inflammatory compounds be dangerous? How could a vegetable, something humans have been eating for thousands of years, suddenly be the villain? I wanted answers, so I decided to become my own science experiment. I ate the so-called forbidden thyroid foods every single day for 30 days. I tracked everything: symptoms, weight, energy, digestion, sleep, and most importantly, before and after lab work. The results didn't just surprise me. They debunked one of the biggest thyroid myths on the internet. But to understand why this myth is so persistent, we have to go back to where it started. For decades, cruciferous vegetables have been labeled goitrogenic. Goitrogens are plant compounds that can theoretically interfere with iodine, a mineral your thyroid uses to produce hormones. The idea sounds serious, it sounds scientific, and it spread like wildfire across blogs and forums, especially among people with Hashimoto's. But here's what almost nobody mentions. You would have to eat a massive amount of raw cruciferous vegetables, we're talking pounds per day, and also be severely iodine deficient for this to become a real problem. The myth went mainstream after one dramatic case involving an 88-year-old woman who ate 2 to 3 pounds of raw bok choy every single day for months. That's not a serving, that's a suitcase full of bok choy. Meanwhile, dozens of modern human studies paint a very different picture. When people consume normal servings, even daily, cruciferous vegetables do not reduce thyroid hormone levels. Not when iodine intake is normal, not when the vegetables are cooked, not even when they're eaten regularly over weeks. And here's the part that really blew my mind. Cooking cruciferous vegetables can reduce goitrogenic compounds by up to 60% or more. Steaming, roasting, sauteing, all of these break down the enzyme that creates goitrogens in the first place. So I started wondering, have I been avoiding these foods for no reason? Have I been scared of the wrong thing? There was only one way to know. I got my baseline labs: TSH, free T4, free T3, and thyroid antibodies. The markers that tell you how well your thyroid is functioning and whether the autoimmune process in Hashimoto's is active. I wrote down my weight, energy levels, mood, digestion, and sleep. Then, I began the experiment. Week 1. The first week felt almost rebellious. I roasted broccoli, blended kale, made cauliflower mash, and sautéed Brussels sprouts. A little voice in my head kept saying, "Are you sure this is safe?" I kept waiting for the sluggish, heavy fatigue thyroid patients know all too well. But the opposite happened. By the end of the week, I felt normal. Actually better than normal. My digestion felt smoother, my energy was steady, and none of the dreaded symptoms showed up. Week 2. By week 2, I had a rhythm. Brussels sprouts with balsamic glaze, kale salads, cauliflower soups, cabbage stir-fries. I felt satisfied, full, and my blood sugar felt more stable throughout the day. No crashes, no brain fog spikes, and I started diving deeper into the science. Cruciferous vegetables contain compounds like sulforaphane and indole-3-carbinol, which research consistently shows can lower inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and support detoxification pathways. And guess what the thyroid loves? lower inflammation, and stable blood sugar. So the foods I've been avoiding were actually supporting the very systems my thyroid depends on. Week 3. This week brought a little reality check. I had 2 low energy days and I immediately thought, oh no, is this the broccoli? But when I checked my symptom journal, the truth was obvious. 2 nights of bad sleep and a high-stress workday. Sometimes it's not your thyroid. Sometimes it's just life. This was a good reminder not to blame every tiny symptom on food. I stuck with the experiment, and within 2 days, my energy was right back up. Week 4. By week 4, cruciferous vegetables weren't forbidden anymore. They were just food. Good food. My digestion was smooth, my energy was stable, and the heaviness behind my eyes, that afternoon brain fog, felt noticeably lighter. At this point, I had a sense of what my results would show, but I wanted the numbers. I went in for my after labs, and a few days later I opened my patient portal and pulled up my before and after side by side. Here's what happened. TSH, the hormone that rises when your thyroid struggles, it didn't go up, it went down. That's a sign of improved thyroid efficiency. Free T4, the storage hormone, stable, exactly where it should be. Free T3, the active hormone that gives you energy, it increased slightly. And then the biggest surprise, my thyroid antibodies dropped. Not by a little, but meaningfully. Lower antibodies mean a calmer autoimmune response, and the improvements didn't stop at the labs. My weight was down 4 pounds, mostly from better digestion and fiber. My energy was more stable, my brain fog lighter, my mood more even, and my digestion better than it had been in years. All from the vegetables I was told to fear. So what does this actually mean? It means the blanket statement, avoid cruciferous vegetables if you have a thyroid problem, is outdated, and for most people, simply not true. Cruciferous vegetables only became a concern when 1. You're eating huge quantities of them raw. 2. You're severely iodine deficient. 3. Or you're consuming them alongside other thyroid stressors that are being ignored. And here's the part most people never hear. Same things are far more likely to harm thyroid function than broccoli ever will. Like taking thyroid medication with food, eating soy too close to your medication, getting too much iodine from kelp or seaweed, chronic inflammation, highly unstable blood sugar, chronic stress and poor sleep, selenium deficiency. These things have far more impact on your thyroid than any serving of cooked kale. This experiment changed the way I think about thyroid nutrition. Not only did cruciferous vegetables not harm my thyroid, they actually supported the systems that help my thyroid work better. It reminded me that when it comes to health, fear spreads fast. But science tells a different story. So if you've been avoiding broccoli, kale, cauliflower, or Brussels sprouts because you've heard they're dangerous for your thyroid, it might be time to rethink that rule. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What forbidden health advice have you been giving? Which food rules are you starting to question? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone. If this helped you feel more confident and less confused about thyroid nutrition, please like the video and subscribe for more real science and myth-busting health content. And of course, this video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always talk to your healthcare provider about any major diet changes, especially if you have hypothyroidism or autoimmune thyroid disease.